Gonna wait a minute. Couple more people to join. Hope everyone is having a great week so far. It's Thursday over here in Australia. We're going to get started in 30 seconds. How's everyone? Let me know in the chat. If you have any charts we want to bring up today. Otherwise, we'll just go through a bit of a macro situation. We'll look at the main fours, and I reckon we'll get started now. G'day, g'day, g'day. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending where you're tuning in. If you're live, thank you for being here with Aussie today. And if you are watching the recording, thanks for watching the recording. Make sure to drop a comment down in the comment section on YouTube, just so that it helps everyone, including me. But it helps you as well, because if you tell me what you want to watch or what we want to see more of, we'll cover that. So let's take a bit of a look-see as to where we are. As usual, team, we are going to start on, and let me know if the music in the background is a bit too loud. It's Thursday morning here, so I just have a bit of chill music in the background, but if it's bothering you, I can just turn it down. Thursday morning here in Australia, so approaching the end of the week, or second half of the week, definitely. And as usual, we wanted to have a look at what the Bitcoin dominance is doing. So no surprise, obviously we broke in structure right there. But now the big question and the big test, not so much question, but test, is going to come from this weekly area, which you can see I have highlighted as buying pressure. And what we want to see really is, and what I'm expecting anyway, is going to be a bit of a slowdown. And then we want to see Bitcoin dominance close below and making lower highs and lower lows. If for whatever reason we got a bit of a rejection and we come up, we cannot come up further than the 786 886, because that would mean Bitcoin dominance goes up further, especially past the 886. The strength of the move is exhausted, so that's why we don't like to take trades past the 886. 786 886 is a great area, but past the 886 becomes a little bit too uncertain. So we are approaching a very, very, very important area for all alts, right? This is our alt meter, basically. So we want to make sure that Bitcoin dominance keep dropping. If it drops, of course, we're going to see more outflow of money, dollars, into all of our favorite alts. So really important level, with just a couple of percentage point away from a big test here for the Bitcoin dominance. So I thought it was important thing to have a look at. Now let's take a look at where Bitcoin is. So Bitcoin, no surprise there. We actually managed to hold this level. So we hold those lows, but really we are still in the range. And the range is obviously this low and, and this high. So if we take a very simple fib, and let me just quickly find my mouse, close the laptop there. So if we take a look at just a very simple fib, we go from low to high right there. You can see that we've reversed exactly at the 886. So sorry, 618. Sorry, there, right there. We touch it and we reversed. This is a good sign. There's obviously sign of strength. So when we don't retrace further than the 50%, 618, it means that the buys in this case are strong. So it was indeed a good sign. Now we have to see how the reaction comes from this area right here. You can see this big buy to sell move. You can see this one large buy followed by the sell. So we are approaching this level right now. I want to see on the lower time frame where and what's going to happen. So I'm likely going to potentially looking for shorts here. If we do a reverse fib, so instead of from low to high, from high to low, you can see that this area is sitting once again at the 50 to 618. So this area was a daily candle that we looked at just now, and we're sitting at the 50% 618 area right there. This candle is anyway. So once we get up here, which is going to be the 116,000 to the 118, so 116 to 118, we'll be yeah, we will definitely good morning, Cappy. We'll definitely can look at the total tree for sure. You can see that this area is this candle, this order block is sitting at conveniently at a very important fib level. So not my favorite area to take trades from, the 50 to 618. I do like 786, 886 better, but it's nonetheless an area of importance. So we should definitely put on the map. And specifically, I'm looking at this this couple of candles right up here, which left behind a bit of an imbalance right there. So past the 116, really, it's the area that I'd be interested potentially for a short setup. And it won't be a full short setup that comes all the way down here. It will likely be a very small short, kind of like not so much a scalp, but potentially a small swing. So something like this could be an option, 1 to 3. Yeah, this could be an option. Entry 1 there, entry 2 at the start of that imbalance, and a very tight stop loss. So something like this is definitely a potential setup for Bitcoin. Ethereum, I've personally had some luck with the range, skill, luck, whatever you want to call it. But I've been playing this range nicely. Lots of, on the low time frame, 15 minutes, quick scalps, in and out. As you can see, I've called out a couple of these. So if you took them, you would have been in profit. So ETH has given us some nice range to play with. And what I mean by range is you can see this basically, if we box it up, it's literally we've been playing into this box. Sorry, wrong tool. We've literally been playing in this box right here, right? So we've got high, low, high, low, high, low, high, low. And obviously now it's starting to squeeze a little bit. So the question is, I'm actually currently long here. There's a setup that I was looking at literally just before this live. And if you want to take it, this can be a live setup. It's not my favorite because it's only a 1 to 2, I think it is. Yeah, 1 to 2 exactly. But the logic behind this setup, if you want to take it, this is a current live trade. And what I'm seeing here is basically low, high, fib, retracing, 76 at S6. I missed that because it was at 5 o'clock this morning. I wasn't on the charts. I was still sleeping. But when I did wake up, I saw obviously a push up. So I would say, I don't know if we're going to get back up here all the way. It is kind of like the range is up here. So there is a possibility that we come back and take out this high and come back and retest this, in which case I'll leave the long open. But this can be a nice 1 to 2 just for today. I will suspect this will be a 24-hour max trade. You can see lots of these trades are like just a few hours. This is on an hourly. So this is a live trade. Yep, if you want to take it. If you want to wait for a better entry, you can. Obviously now it's a touch too late, but we are starting to form some liquidity down here. So you might want to wait for the retest of that liquidity grab and then enter there. It looks like we might get it as we speak. So I'll say anything on this candle right here will be a nice entry. So if we take a nice 4338, call it, so 4338. Yeah, that will be a nice entry, which gives you a slightly better risk to reward, and most importantly is sitting just below this liquidity right here. So yep, live trade here on this Thursday. So ETH long, but at a macro perspective, this is obviously on a shorter time frame. We've been looking at it 15 minutes, but at a macro perspective, we can likely let me just get rid of this harmonic there, it's annoying. We can see on this range as well. So there's a lot of liquidity that we've been forming. We've been obviously doing equal lows here, equal highs here. So there is a very high chance that we will grab one side liquidity and then we go hunt the second. That's right, exactly right, Cappy. It looks indecisive. So, but the most important part to understand is that there's literally liquidity everywhere. So, and even down here. So, do we go up first and then we go down and then we kind of go up again? Or do we go down first and then we go up and then we kind of go down and up again? Like, nobody knows. So this GM pad, GM, nobody knows. We are playing the range until the range gets invalidated. And once the range gets invalidated, it's called a break of structure. We'll likely break structure in either way. And that's fine because we can then look at continuation based on our confirmation. So for now, though, we are sticking into this nice little range right here, okay, which has been going on for a couple of weeks, I guess. Yeah, or a week or so. What is it? Yeah, a couple of weeks. So that's ETH. With Sol, Sol has almost approached the area that I drew on the other day. I think it was Stingray. We were chatting and he was asking, do you want to short from here? And I said, no, I'm not going to short from there because if you look on the 4 hour, what we actually formed, actually no, he asked if we were going to short from here because we were approaching this level. I said, no, not yet. If you look at an harmonic with the X, A, and we had a B retracement of 792. If you took my harmonic class, you know that anything past the 786 becomes a butterfly, and a butterfly comes usually in 1618 to 1272 fib extension. So I said I'm going to wait to short, and I'm going to look at shorting around about this area. So 230 to 235. We are 225 now, so it's coming pretty quick. And I guess the other important part as well to note is that if we take a fib of the whole move, and I'm going to delete it so we'll do it together and you can see what I mean. So this is actually an harmonic in itself. So a couple of things are happening on a higher time frame in Solana. So number one, this is an harmonic. So low to high to there, and you can see when it's not a very pre-harmonic, it's barely a bat, so I like to have it a little bit higher, so that will make sense for Sol to come back here. But harmonics aside, what we're actually doing is we're literally just going, okay, fib high to low, we are sitting at the 50% 618. This area up here is going to be the 786 886 that has my interest the most. But if you look at structure, you can see this nice order block, and I'm gonna move this so you can see it. This nice order block right here. It's a buy to sell move. Can you guys see it? So this was the last retest, buy, fills the imbalance left behind, and then the actual move goes down. So I'm expecting some sort of rejection from that level, purely because there's obviously going to be selling orders stacked still up there. So I am going to be bidding at short for this confluence of reasons, if it makes sense. So not yet. ETH has got a live long setup, whereas Sol I'll be waiting for a short. We need to see a bit more confirmations. Let's take a look at XRP. So XRP looks to don't you think we will get a liquidity sweep before that short? Liquidity where though? Like, do you mean to the left here? Pat? Liquidity, are you talking about Sol? On the order block. Yeah, I mean, if you have to go back into the order block, I left it there green, then can go back into lower time frame and really break it down and see what's in there. So this 4 hour candle right here, it's got a nice there, 4 hour. That's a nice level. You do have equal highs here. 1, 2, so those are equal highs. So there's liquidity right there. But really, you wouldn't be shorting just based on that. So it would become a bit of a wider stop loss, right? So, so it could be something like from this 4 hour all the way to up here, just above this candle, and then usually you can do a 1 to 3. So if you take it all the way down, wrong. a button. So it could be something like this. We'll have to obviously see once we get a little bit closer to that level, but you can see this could be another setup too. So usually this is more of a scalp, this is more of a swing, right? Depending on where it is. There's a lot of liquidity everywhere at the moment. So there's like in ETH, we just looked at, there's liquidity up, there's liquidity down. Solana on a 4-hour, ton of liquidity down here. And if you really want to play the liquidity game or the liquidity case, all this is just a ginormous liquidity trend line. So it's just begging to be broken. All this massive trend line is going to get broken eventually. So just a matter of how far down do we go, and yeah, when. Oh, yeah. So this is the scalp, like a few hours / maybe a day. This is going to be a swing. So you can see usually my stop loss in one coincides with the entry on the other. Yeah, I mean, bears, bulls, don't really know, to be honest. If we're talking macro where we are, it's a funny moment. You know, I'm looking at a ton of different things and a ton of different metrics, and this is probably a good time to go and have a look at what Cuppy was requesting, which is the total 3 was. Yep. So let's take a look at total 3. Total 3 is obviously all the total market cap of everything excluding BTC and ETH. So if we look at where total 3 is at, this is an old chart. So let me just clear up. Lots of Elliott wave. Look at that, 76. That played out nicely. Reaction. What we see now in this chart, and I want to clear up a little bit. In fact, let's just do this. There, clean chart. Let's get rid of that. Brand new chart. So what we have now, and I'm on a weekly, so high time frame, we can definitely see we are approaching the previous all-time high, I guess, of total 3, which is the 1.16 trillion. Do we continue higher? Definitely. There's liquidity. This is just a giant liquidity level, so I do foresee us going a little bit higher. The question is, do we then drop lower, come back and fill these kind of imbalances down here, which to me would make sense. And I'm not saying it's going to continue lower, you know, we could continue higher. This is a horrible drawing. So let me just do it properly. So area of interest, money, I'm expecting some sort of liquidity grab, retest of this area right here, and then potentially continuation higher. This is going to get people scared. You know, when we go from 1.3 trillion or whatever it might be 1.16 all the way down to almost 900 or sub 1 billion, people will say it's a bear market. And to be honest, you know, I don't really know. Like it could be that we retest and we come back all the way down here. Like once again, fibs, low to high. This area that we're looking at currently is a 50% 618. Great. We like that area, but we would like the 786 better. And if you look at that, this is obviously manipulation wick right there. So there is a chance that we'll come back eventually, fill that wick before moving higher. Don't know how deep this retracement is going to be, but I am expecting, because we're so close to this giant liquidity line, at least a very quick wick and then potentially a reversal down. Of course, if you ask me, I would love to see it, you know, going up higher into fib extension, but because that means our bag goes higher too. But we've got to be realistic, and once you're approaching these extreme levels, usually there's a fast liquidity grab and then there's a correction, right? So be prepared for some of our alts to give us better entries. Don't see, you know, your portfolio in red. Look instead at opportunities to grow your portfolio, if that makes sense. All right, cool. So we looked at the main 4, we looked at BTC dominance, we looked at total 3. Now the question is, what is ETH-BTC? Well, ETH-BTC, as we know, it's has been going gangbuster for a while, but he's giving us a retracement, and funny enough, he's giving us a retracement pretty much where we draw it a while back. So there is a level here that is, as you can see, this nice order block, draw it out, indecision, retest. So I'm expecting, and you probably just saw on the higher time frame, I am expecting a retest of this level for ETH BTC. Once ETH BTC gets down here, that means the alts obviously are going to follow down a bit. So in the short term, and I'm talking, weeks, a few weeks to a couple of months, I'm expecting some bearish momentum for alts. We just had a nice little run, but I do see there's a lot of signal for us. Total 3 are about to potentially grab this liquidity up here, which is, like we just talked about, very possible, and then a reversal. ETH BTC already started that reverse, so he has grabbed this nice liquidity line. It's completing an Elliott wave 1, 2, 3. It just did it. You can see 1, 2, 3, giant wave 3. So now the wave 4 can technically come back all the way down here. I don't think it will because there's too much demand. But this area right here with the retest of these order blocks is definitely an interesting area of retracement for ETH BTC. So I think timing the fear and greed index at the time of this liquidity sweep could be a good indicator for sure. Fear and greed index is definitely a nice little cheat that everyone should have on their arsenal. Don't just obviously take trades off of that alone. That's a very simple but powerful indicator. But yeah, you wanna kind of put together the pieces together, right? Like it's the fear and greed index will come, like we just discussed, once we see total 3 grabbing. And let me just probably do it a little bit less amateurial-ish, a bit more precise. So once we come up here, and we take previous liquidity, and we see something like this, up, down, up, down. So this whole move will be fear, right? And then there will be relief, and then there will be more fear. So okay, that looks weird. But yeah, fear. And that's when you buy, right? But we are prepared. We know that, bearish, bullish, that's how the market moves. So, however, if you ask me personally, at this point in time, like I'm 50-50 in my head that this could potentially be the top of the cycle for BTC anyway, or very close to it. You can see like my absolute TP area for this cycle is 130. At this stage, yeah, I don't know. These moves that BTC did and stalling, yeah, they usually indicators that there's big exhaustion there, and we'll see. But definitely we'll come back into weekly, 105 to 101 sometime soon. So you can see I've got a ghost feed from the previous cycle, which has been respected pretty good. Obviously went a little bit higher, but ultimately, like we just looked at Sol, this is just a giant trend line, which will get broken eventually. So we'll have a look. Thoughts on GM Greeny, thoughts on BTC coming down, which I agree, but also meme coins continuing up. Yeah, very good question, love it. So historically, previous cycles, you look at BTC dominance and you go, okay, BTC dominance is going down, so all alts must go up. But in the meantime, what was actually happening is that BTC was also going up in price, whereas I think we are probably in the first cycle where I'm seeing potential sign of exhaustion, at least temporary, because like I said many times in the past, like I am seeing 250,000, 500,000 BTC in the future, in the coming years. Not right now, but we're talking 1 year ahead. So in the next year, I am seeing some signs of exhaustion from BTC potentially, which technically would mean that once BTC goes down, usually also alts go down. And I think we also need to consider that, BTC, obviously the main rival is ETH. ETH has just had a monster move. We went from what is that, $1,300 to $5,000 in the space of just a few months. This was a monster move. Yes, it did leave behind this lovely liquidity up here. I don't know if we're gonna come and grab it. I think, you know, from a trader standpoint, it would make sense for me to see some sort of correction and come back and fill imbalances. So there's a lot of signs that I'm looking at charts, and I'm trying to always be absolutely impartial. Like, you know, like if I'm not involved in the market, it makes sense to see imbalances filled. And yes, there is liquidity, but once again, like, it is like the total three, maybe a liquidity grab, and then we come back lower. So yeah, I think I spoke about it last week. Start really thinking about areas that you're comfortable in taking profits right now, because this might not be the absolute top, but you know, there is a very strong chance that the top is close. And some alts, absolutely, what are you saying? Yeah, some alts do have room to go higher. You know, you can see like there's a lot of, like, for me, alts that I'm looking at, and you know, these are some nice trades that we've got up right now. So grass, great call. You know, from also Ray called it out. We're still in a leverage trade from beginning of August. You know, this can be an easy 2x. Something like Tau, same thing. We sniped it, and you know, Tau can come back and, you know, grab all this liquidity, come back up here somewhere for $500. But I guess to answer Greeny's point, there is going to be another leg up, in my opinion, for alts, more so than BTC, but it's not going to be the move that takes us back to all-time high on many of these alts. I'm getting more and more skeptical about, you know, alts having a monster rally this cycle, and to be perfectly honest, I don't think they will. So I am definitely more on, okay, I'm gonna take my profits at 2x, and I'm gonna be happy, and yeah, I'm gonna be converting. So yeah, so what Green is saying in the chat, very much agree. There will be no altcoin season. Yeah, so that's why we're taking these setups. So what we're looking at is exhausted charts at lows that can give us, you know, another 2x. This is, you know, this is a 154% move, which can very easily happen in just a couple of candles. But I'm not going to be looking at, you know, all-time highs. I'm not going to be looking at something like grass to come back at $4. You just want this cycle. So, you know, I double my money, I'm out. So this is going to be the way I'm planning. Like chat was an example from the other week. I don't know if you remember this. We talked about it last week on stream. I said, you know, if you wanna do a quick 2x, in my opinion, in the next coming days, due to the Solana phone being released, this was one. And if you took that call, you can see we called it here literally last week. You know, called it here, and you would have almost doubled your money. So in the space of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days. So there is still opportunity there to make money if you follow the right narrative, if you follow the right you know, logic. Don't follow hype, follow narrative. Like this trade specifically was basically, okay, a project that is down immensely, but it's, you know, very much tied to the Solana phone. So if a project is down 99% and Solana phone comes out and this project is native on Solana phone, you kind of go, okay, well, look at this last move, 786, 886, tap back, and it was just an easy trade. We have some other projects that we can also, you know, obviously PYTH, we called it, and then it double, triple. Well, what was this? This was a silly move. We called it, and it went, yeah, one double 2.5 in the space of a few days. But there is still opportunity. This is another play, Greeny, that I'm looking at, and I know that I've called this out already, but I'm not necessarily looking at doubling my USDs anymore. I am looking at doubling, tripling my main stack. So, you know, in this case, you might remember a few weeks back, I called, I said, guys, you know, if you look at Solana versus ETH, this is to me at a level that just made sense. Just had a monster run, low to high, came back, tapped this order block, which was obviously there was a lot of indecision here. And as soon as I saw some signs of strength on the lower time frame, I went into the chat and I called it for you guys and I said, this is a good time for me. And you can see I swapped 1 ETH into Solana because the upside is there. But mind you that when this chart goes up, I am not making dollars. Okay, so this is the important part. So this is how I'm going to play it because of the cycle that we are in. I'm not going to play trying to get my dollars up. I'm going to try to be more focused in growing my Solana stack, my ETH stack, and my BTC the most stack, right? I'm playing the long term here. So once this, this chart goes up here, I'm going to be doubling my Ethereum. So from here, swap 1 ETH, go up here, I've got 2 ETH. So from 1 to 2, simple, right? And I haven't put any new capital. I haven't done anything. I just simply double my ETH. And that is regardless of whether Ethereum price goes down, Bitcoin price goes down, Solana price goes down. This is just the strength of 2 pairs. So this is what I'm mostly playing at the moment. So I'm bullish long term on BTC, no doubt. Correct. Yeah, this is. But is there a better trade like Sol, Hype, Link, or AVAX? Something that will get me 50 to 100% move in the coming months. Link, I think it's late to the party. Link, we were stacking obviously last year like $10-12. Now you're onto the 2x. To be actually on Link, what I'll be doing similar to what I just discussed here, which is I'm gonna be doubling up. Link, if you had some good entries from last year, I'm not against, and let me find the chart. I'm not against, and I've already started personally, taking some profits and swapping them into BTC. So this is the Link BTC chart that I've got, and I'll clear it up a little bit. So there and there. So nice big harmonic, up, down, came down all the way. So actually crabbed all the way down. So I've just took out 10% of my Link and I swapped it into BTC. So I haven't converted into dollars. Once again, I'm not converting to dollars. Here I'm converting to BTC. Goes up again, I'll convert another 15% of my Link holdings into BTC. And then eventually I'm going to be looking at, potentially come back into this nice big imbalance right up here. And the reason why I'm doing this, and this is partially to answer your question, Granny, is because I don't want to be tied up necessarily to what Link price, AVAX price, or any price is doing in US dollars. I don't want to care at the moment because I'm not going to be using that dollar anytime soon. So everyone is in a different position, but the dollars that I have in my crypto portfolio, they're there for me to grow my crypto stack. And my crypto stack is BTC, ETH, and SOL in the long term, right? Anything else is just a mean to acquire more of those coins. So instead of taking the profits of Link at $10 that I was getting and putting them into a USD, sitting there and doing nothing, I'd rather take this profit and convert them into BTC. That way I don't have to deploy new capital, right? Because it's basically I'm just acquiring more BTC just by ripping up the profits from good entries in other coins. And B, I'm also subconsciously not needing to spend it, or I've got USD dollars, therefore I need to do more. No, my stack is in BTC. I'm playing the long-term games. In 5 years' time, we'll be looking at today's calls and we'll be going, I was so glad that I was swapping 100, 200, 500, 10,000, whatever of gains into those coins because they will be worth a lot more, right? So this is how I'm playing this cycle currently. So I am trying to grow my stack. I'm not necessarily trying to time the top or the bottom of these coins because it's so hard. It's so indecisive. There's too many new variables at play at the moment with institutions, with institutional, the long term is what we're here for. And for those of you guys that may be on the newer side, the way I play the market is not, I'm not a scalper. I'm an investor more so than, I am a trader, of course, but I'm an investor. So I'm trying to invest more than anything. And for me, investing is, years horizon. So I'm planting the seeds today, letting them grow, and I'm going to be reaping those benefits in the years to come. I personally think there's going to be a time near in our lifetime where you will not even have to sell your BTC to be making money. You will be able to take loans against your BTC, collateral. You can do that already now, but you just by having 1-2 BTC, you will be considered very, very wealthy. So that's what I'm trying to get to. That's what I'm trying to get my family to. I'm not so much worried about what lots of these alts and most of these alts are doing today in terms of USD. So I saw your questions in the chat. Sorry if I went a bit on a tangent there, but I was trying to answer. Yeah, when will BTC loan rates be better than banks? Mate, it's an interesting one. So you see now a lot of these BTC, of these companies are actually wanting, they racing to put BTC on their balance sheets, like especially on stocks. You see all of these companies, large companies, racing to put BTC, large amount of BTC onto their balance sheet. One of them, namely, is going to be GME. So GME, which is a stock which we are waiting for, we talk about it almost every week. It's just not coming into the level that we want, and I don't know if it's going to give us that level. But GME is already starting to move now. It's got a nice bounce. So this company, obviously, we all know it from the dumb money, whatever. If you don't know what happened to GME, go and watch it on Netflix. It's a really cool documentary. But basically, a whole bunch of retail went against this institution and crushed them. So GME is looking at putting a ton of Bitcoin into their balance sheet. And, I've been waiting patiently for this level. I don't know if we're going to get it. I don't know if we're going to get it. But GME, once they start stacking Bitcoin, boy, oh boy, this thing is going to go up. Having Bitcoin on your balance sheet at a company level right now is like, this is at an institutional level. It's like the hot thing to do, right? Like yeah. So you're not looking to swap into stables during this bear, just accumulate for the 15 years. I personally don't need that money. Like I have, let me ask you this question, and you don't have to answer it, Pat, by all means, but it's a question for you to ponder on and to think on. How many streams of income do you have? And of those, how do you allocate them? Do you have a stream of income that pays for your bills at home? Do you have a stream of income that pays for your investment? Do you have a stream of income that pays for your going out money? If you only have one stream of income, unless you're absolutely diligent and you split it, you're not really going to be able to, to do all the things that you want to do. But for me to be able to invest in stocks, I need to be able to have an income that allows me to do that, or at least having my portfolio split in a way that I either, get dividends and I can reinvest them, or I get, a plays like the one that I just showed, SOL versus ETH or Link versus BTC, where I can just basically grow my stack that way without having to deploy new capital. It does depend on your in real IRL circumstances. If you need that money, sure, but absolutely, like crypto is not important. Real life, your family always comes first. I'm down tremendously on the 2021 NFT run, like tremendously, and that's money that I'm likely never going to come back and see again. So I need to be able to make up for it in some other ways, and some of these plays for me are going to be making up, in the 5-15 years on horizon. So in my personal circumstances, no, I'm not going to swap so much in USDT. I'd rather grow my stack with BTC and ETH and SOL and all those. So, but that still doesn't stop us, from taking leverage plays, because ultimately leverage plays are just a way for us to grow our stack. And you can see another play that we called last week was HNT. Last week we had if you guys were live or if you watched the recording, we talked about, now obviously we have a lot of telecommunication on the news with Solana phone and all that. And you can see this chart was just a beautiful thing. So low, high, 76, 86. We're sitting here currently still in the zone. So this could be a great opportunity to acquire a project that is making revenues, taking money, a project that people are paying subscription for, give seller a network, nothing wrong with it. And to answer Granny's question, in the possible, it's going to give me 100%. Well, this is 100%. So if we are entering today at $2.33 and we go back to, up here, that's doable. That's just, you look at this move right here. So we went from here to here in the space of, 26 days. So a month. So a move like that, totally doable. There is still opportunities for you to make money in this cycle. I guess the point that I would really want to try to bring across is don't shoot for the stars. Don't think, enter here. Oh, this cycle, I'm going to have to go back all the way up here. It's not going to happen, I think. And I might be completely wrong because in trading, nobody ever knows 100%. I might be wrong, but at this stage, I'm just aiming for my 1-2x and then, keep going. And also, Pad, to answer your questions, these plays, which are leverage plays, these are plays that obviously are converting to USD and USDC because this is my stack for leverage, but it's an allocated stack just for leverage trade, right? So I've got a stack for leverage trading, I've got a stack for investing, and I've got a stack that I'll never touch. Does it make sense? So this is portfolio building, the importance of portfolio building. Yeah. Cool. I think we covered a fair bit. This is a project that we were looking at last week as well, FLUX. This is, I really like this level for FLUX. If you don't know what FLUX is, it's basically Web3 or decentralized computing. Project very similar to Render. Tremendously down once again, but they are also part of the NVIDIA incubator program. So they are going to have some significant partnership. And if you look at a higher time frame, you can starting to see some nice signs of strength and rebounding. So we've got obviously a nice level here. They got tapped a few times. I think we are gearing up for a move. And just yesterday, we broke structure right here. So this is a good level for us, once again, to deploy, a small amount. This could be, 2% of your portfolio that does a move, goes back up here, and all of a sudden your 2% is 4% of your portfolio. So definitely opportunities there for us to still make money if you choose the right projects. This is why I'm not personally going to do memes. It's not because I'm not good at it. I don't have the the mental bandwidth to do it. But it's very similar, right? Like my speciality is understanding companies and how they work and looking at balance sheets and things like that. So I'd rather play that way. If you go nuts and memes and you have success there, by all means, do what makes you, do what makes your portfolio grow. I don't care. Another good one was obviously PYTH. We just talked about it. Let's take a look before we drop off for today. A couple of stocks. LULUlemon. LULUlemon is at a very interesting level right now. So COVID candle, we are entering it as we speak. 2020 level, do a nice fib low to high, and you can see we are approaching the 76 AS6. So I'm going to be, and I'm probably should delete this because it's confusing. It looks like I'm buying from here. I think we are going to be testing this week again, week again, and that's when we will call it out. So $150 if you want to be on the conservative side. It's a great 150 is a great level for LULUlemon to enter. I think personally on this won't be a option. This will be a portfolio play. So once again, this is another way you can play your portfolio. Long terms, diversify. What if crypto goes down, or not goes down, but takes a massive plunge? What if MicroStrategy goes bankrupt and something happened and they have to who knows, like flash crash, basically black swan event. Well, I also have an nest egg in stock for that reason. So if one boat goes down, the entire fleet doesn't go down. I've got other boats, right? So that's how you gotta think. So yeah, couple of stocks. LULUlemon approaching real fast. Cracker Barrel, which obviously was on the news recently for they're rebranding, then they're non-rebranding, and you know, when you see this kind of attention, usually bad attention is good attention in stocks. You want prices to go down, because if you look at not the news, but simply at a chart level on a weekly, what we have here is we kept the lows and we actually broke structure. So we are now entering once again an area that is going to potentially give us a nice push up. So Cracker Barrel, definitely something that I personally will be playing off. And there's currently, like where we are now, we are about to enter a nice fib confluence. I call this, these are my fib clusters. So basically 2 fib overlaid on top of each other. So it is entirely possible, and I've seen this many times with fib clusters, that we reverse from here without coming back into the 786, 86. So fib clusters are very powerful, but obviously if we do come back lower, great, I will add more to it. So a couple of stocks there, and RIVN, just a quick check. No problem, Greeny, no problem, bro. RIVN, if you took the option, I'm personally up about 100% on RIVN, just on this. You know, my option expiry, if you took it with me, was 15 October 2025, so still plenty of room to go, but I will be placing a stop loss or an alert basically at $13 and change, just to make sure that, you know, if we do end up coming back lower before going back higher and my option expires, I don't miss out on these gains right now. So once again, 100% gains, we'll take it. You know, it's a doubles game. And last but not least, and then we'll wrap it up for today and open up for questions, is UNH. Yeah, there's a couple. Might have to watch the quick recording. Last but not least, UNH. Like, we absolutely killed this one. Yeah, we sniped it before even Mr. Warren Buffett, decided to buy some, and now this is going up nicely. So just in a matter of a few days, we're up 30% effectively. So UNH, watch out for $500-$600 come back up here. So we're gonna let that one run, and we're confident in our trades. But once again, this was a nice, easy trade to take. You can see COVID candle 2020 come back. Tapped it, 76, 86 area. I'll show you for you. So low, high, 76, 86 area right there. Candle, tap, reverse. Yep. Yes, I am in an ETH long. Correct. Yes. In an ETH long. And that's it for today, team. I'm in this ETH long currently, but I was just saying, if you want to wait for this 5 minutes, which looks like it might just happen now, this is a nice level to retest entry right there. So any questions, team? Quite a lot today, but I thought, you know, it was a good opportunity for us to take a look at macro and talk where we are in the cycle. All good, all good. Are these recorded? Yes, they are. Yes, they're going to be on my YouTube channel. But if you go into our GTG, obviously go into the live stream channel, which is under trading support, and you'll find them all there. Not just mine, but also Sexy's and obviously Greeny. All good, fam. Pleasure. Cool. Thanks, Aussie. I'd like to ask you, let's say you wanted to live from leverage future trading, what type of account would be enough? A bit of a tricky question. Well, it just depends on your expenses. You know, if you take out the word leverage account and you just replace it with account, you know, it can be any account. It can be futures account, it can be Forex account, it can be whatever, you know, perps, like, doesn't matter, right? It's an account. So if you want to live off that, you have to consider yourself as a professional. So you want to become a professional trader. First of all is, how much are your expenses? So let's just say monthly your expenses are, I'm just going to say a number, so don't take me to it. I'm just going to say $5,000. And I'm talking, strictly, whatever, rent or whatever. Expenses are, or, do 10 because it's a nice round number. $10,000 are my monthly expenses. That means I have to be taking out of the market $10,000. And if $10,000 is the profit that I need to make, well, realistically, what percentage can there be of my trading account? Am I able in a month to grow my portfolio or my account 10%? Well, if the answer is yes, and you need to be taking out 10% of your portfolio, well, then you have to have a $100,000 account. Think about that, right? Like if I've got a $100,000 account and I want to withdraw $10,000 and I know that roughly I can grow my account 10% a month, that 10% is coming from a $100,000 account. And you can do that by, buying accounts with prop firms and things like that they offer you. You don't have to necessarily have your own capital. This is the beautiful thing about understanding what trading leverage with your account on Bybit or MEXC or OKX, whatever. That's your capital. But in reality, there's other ways of using someone else's capital with prop firms. They give you that money, they take a cut from it, but all of a sudden you're playing with $100,000 or more, multiple accounts as well. So you have that option if you want to become a prop firm trader. And I've got obviously a couple of students that they want to do that. But you need to understand, okay, so what is my trading? Well, where I'm at in my trading career, in my trading at this stage. How much do I realistically grow my account every month? What are my stats? Like what is my winning rate? Am I a short time trader? Like am I on the 15 minutes or am I a swing trader? Because for me, for example, I'm a swing trader. Some of my trades go on for weeks. So before I actually reap the benefits of that one trade, it's going to take weeks. So you have to know your situation, your expenses, your style of trading, your stats of trading. So there's a lot, right? Yeah, so 10,000 a month, and we'll still be growing that account. So 5% of a 200,000 prop firms is doable, for example. Sure. So 5% of a $200,000 account, you can do two. You can do two $100,000 accounts. So you treat them differently, and then all of a sudden you have different strategy. Like I wouldn't do, a $200,000 account personally. I would buy, because you have to buy these accounts, two $100,000 accounts, and I have two strategy. That way, if market moves in one direction with one strategy, at least I'm doing a different strategy, with the other. So 5%, you'll be surprised. Like once you start taking leverage out of the equation, and especially with some accounts, depending on which you go with, perps and commodities and things like that. Yeah, you have to really change your strategy a little bit. And yeah, 5% in a month is doable if you're diligent, if you taking the right trades, if you're not over trading. So there is a lot of variables, but I cannot answer them for you because you need to know yourself as a trader, if it makes sense. I can help you get there. That's why I've got one-on-ones and I do private mentorship because I help people get in there, but you need to know yourself first in terms of where you are in your journey, what you want to achieve, how you want to get there, your trading style, your stats, and all those things. So hope it answers the question. I know that it was a fair bit there. But yeah, that's what I do, fam. That's why I do one-on-ones, because I've got students that they want to do exactly that. So and it's tricky. Would it be possible to go one-on-one? Yeah, man. Yeah, absolutely. Flick obviously flick me a chart. Like that's why I've got my WAP. You can probably you can see as soon as you might know my recordings. Usually it's at the beginning, but yeah, I'll share my WAP. It's actually on my channel. That's what I do one-on-ones, and we do 1 session to 5 session to 15, whatever, however long it takes. So And yeah, I'll get Greeny to share his link as well, so he gets you know, obviously gets a nice little referral because we are part of the GTG, so we'll use that. Yeah, that is that, fam. Cool. But yeah, reach out, Pat, or anyone else that's interested, and definitely awesome. Cool beans. Thank you so much for today. And yeah, thank you for obviously kicking it with me. But yeah, have a great weekend and catch you guys next week. Bye.